But today, my affirmation, my new money mindset belief, new money belief is it is safe, right, good, and easy for me to be wealthy. Say it with me. It is safe, right, good, and easy for me to be wealthy. By the way, if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I just know, so I can appreciate you and feel the love. Give me some love here. You know, the first thing you have to do in order to become a wealthy person is define wealth. Because so many of us are thinking that wealth means a particular sum of money that somebody else decided, that you have to be a one percenter, as some people call them, that you have to be a billionaire, which some people don't even want to allow anymore. They want to say that once you reach $1 billion, you're not allowed to have any more money. I don't like that idea, because we can all be billionaires. We can all be multi-billionaires. Of course, the sooner you start, the better your chances of getting there. But the second question is, do you need to be? Is that what you have to be wealthy? Do you have to be a millionaire? Maybe not. Maybe you really don't need quite as much money as you think you do to be wealthy. Now, that's not to say that once you achieve your goal, that you don't raise your goal and achieve and want more. It's not like you get to this point and go, okay, I'm done. I just wanted to get to the 50-yard line. It was first down and 10. I got my 10 yards. I'm done. No, we don't do that. First and 10, and then do it again. Right? Remember that old cheer? First and 10. First and 10, let's do it again. First million, let's do it again. But you have to start somewhere. And if you're sitting there with, $50 in your bank account, or you don't have a bank account, you have nothing in savings because you don't even have a bank account, then your chances of becoming a millionaire are really pretty slim, because you haven't started anything yet. You can't get there if you don't start. I can't drive from here across country if I don't start. We would have never gone to the moon if we hadn't started. We would have never gone to the depths of the ocean. Well, we haven't gone all the way, but we've started. So we've done things. If we don't start and take that first step toward a marathon, you'll never complete the marathon. If you don't go out and train and take a long walk, jog a little bit, you're never going to get there. If as babies we just sat on our butts and said, I'm good with sitting here, we'd have never learned to walk. We might be crawling, but that's about it. So you have to take the first step. So how much are you saving every month? How much are you putting aside for your wealth, for your future wealth? You have to start somewhere. So if you're not putting anything aside, if you don't have a bank account, start one. Go to the bank this week and start a savings account. I don't care if all you put in it is $5. And that's basically what you have to start with. You have to start with $5. My mother actually has a savings account in my bank, and she has $5 in it because she didn't want a savings account. She has her savings in another bank, but she wanted a little bit of money over my bank because it's closer to her house. And so she put money into a checking account there, and that $5 is still sitting there in that little savings account. It's okay. Yeah. Because like I said, she's got savings elsewhere. So that's why I know you have to basically have $5 in a savings account in order to start one. And I know if I call on my savings right now and I check my balance, it will say, you have X amount of dollars and you have available X minus 5 amount of dollars, because the $5 has to remain in the savings account in order for it to be open. It can't be $4.99. Got to be $5 minimum. So go start one with $5. And then next week, put in another 5, or your next payday, put in another 5. If you don't trust banks, then find another place to put it. And it's okay. You can, your bank, the beauty of a bank, especially here in the States, and I'm sure some other countries may have their own version of this, But if your bank is FDIC insured, which is Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation or company, Congress Corporation or company. Anyway, FDIC means your money is insured up to $250,000. So your $10, if somebody steals it, the government's going to give it back to you. If you have $250,000 in there and somebody steals it, the government's going to give it back to you. If the bank fails, the government will give it back to you. I'm not saying you'll get $250,000 right away, but you're going to get it. So it's okay, at least in the US, to trust your bank. Also, those two banks that failed out in California, they were mostly banks that dealt with corporations. I know commercials for third, fifths, is that what it's called? One of the things they're advertising, the way they are advertising now since that, is that most of their investors are individuals, or most of their customers, I should say, not investors, are individuals who are banking there. So it's not likely to have a run. And that's what they're trying to tell you. So go to your local bank, find out, go online, check out your local banks, see if they're paying an interest rate if you want to do a brick and mortar, or go online, go to bankrate.com. I think it's bankrate.com, or it could be gobankingrate.com. Try both of them. And they'll tell you what you can find in online banks. SoFi Bank is good. Chase Online. Chase has brick and mortar banks too. Fifth Third, I think, is out there online. Citibank has online. Sallie Mae has online. All these places have online banks that are good and stable banks. Now, here's the other thing. If you have over $250,000 in your savings account, easy peasy to make sure that, again, you get your money back. Have a beneficiary. For every $250,000, if you're the first one, $250,000, then you make person A over here as a beneficiary. That's another $250,000. Now you can have $500,000 in that bank, and if it goes under, you get it all back. If you happen to have $600,000, you put person B on there as another beneficiary. Now you're up to $750,000. So you're getting it back. So like I said, if you're in the US, don't worry about your money in a bank. There's no point in worrying about it. And if that's your excuse for not trusting the bank, then I'm telling you, it's easy. We need to tap on that. You need to tap on, the negative part. You go through the negative. If I don't trust the banks, I really don't trust the banks. If I lose my money, I won't know what to do. Banks might be corrupt. They were in my past country, or my mother said, or my grandmother said. So I really don't know if I can trust banks. Should I trust the bank? Okay. Let it out. Then go through a positive round. I can trust the bank. I really want to trust the bank. I mean, I don't have $250,000, so it's okay. I'm going to get my money back if it's FDIC insured. I'll just make sure it's insured. Yeah, if I make sure it's an insured bank, I'm going to get my money back, so my money's safe in the bank. There you go. You can watch that several times if you need to, and go through that, because they are safe. And you can't grow wealth without investing someplace. Make your money work for you. You can buy stocks. Schwab.com, you can go down to a brokerage, but go to a fiduciary. Don't go to one that's going to charge you is going to charge you a commission just to do business with you. Make sure it's one that only charges you if you're making money. Fidelity, you see the commercials all the time. They're saying, like, we make money a different way. And they're like, oh yeah, you charge commissions. No, we don't. We do this. No, we don't. They say, we make money when our clients make money. That's how they make their money. They don't make money by charging you up front. They make money when you make money. So that's what a fiduciary does, and that's who you want to invest with if you're going into stocks. But if you don't have a bank account, start there and make it automatic. Have $5 taken out of your payday every paycheck and go directly in there. Get started. You cannot grow your wealth without it. And here's the thing. It is safe, right, good, and easy for you to be wealthy. It is. But if you're inside in your little head, you're saying, I can't trust banks. I can't trust this. I can't do that. Then what you're saying is you don't want to be wealthy. Excuse me. And therefore, And therefore your brain is going to say, oh, you got some money. We got to get rid of this because we can't be wealthy. It is safe, right, good, and easy for me to be wealthy. And everything inside me, here you go, here's a little extra. Everything in me that doesn't want to be wealthy, clear and transmute across all time, reality, dimension, and space. That's worth repeating. Everything in me that thinks I cannot be wealthy, clear and transmute across all time, reality, dimension, and space. One more time for good measure. Everything in me that thinks I cannot be wealthy, clear and transmute across all time, reality, dimension, and space. Doesn't that feel better? That feels better. I think it feels better. I feel the energy just shifted. So, once again, it is safe, bright, good, and easy for me to be wealthy. I want to hear that you're saying it all week long. Tell me in the comments that you're saying it and that you're going to keep saying it every day this week, because you can be wealthy. This is the time for you to be wealthy. This is the place for you to be wealthy. You are the right person to be wealthy. It is your destiny to be wealthy. You were placed on this planet. You came to this planet to embrace all the abundance the world has to share and has to give. So you can be wealthy. Just define what wealth is for you. So I'm going to ask later in this week, what is your definition, your personal definition of wealth for you? How much money do you need to be wealthy? What is it you need to be wealthy? Do you need a personal chef to be wealthy? Do you need a personal driver to be wealthy? Do you need $1 million in the bank to be wealthy? Do you need a personal chef and a housekeeper and a chauffeur and a Mercedes or a Lambo to be wealthy? What is it that you personally need to be wealthy? You can answer that in the comments if you're ready. Or you can think about it. And I'll ask it again later this week. Because it's a really, really important question. If you don't know what it takes for you to feel like a wealthy person, how will you know when you get there? Maybe wealth for you is having $20 left after your, from one payday to the next. Money wealth is having $500,000 in the bank. Maybe wealth is having an emergency fund of 3 months pay. It varies for every person, and you have to define it for yourself so that you know when you're there. Because if you don't ever define it for yourself and you're living on somebody else's definition, you're striving for somebody else's goal. But when you know it for yourself, you know what it means to you. You can tell when you're getting close. You can tell when you can see light at the end of the tunnel. You can tell when you're right on it. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, I'm wealthy. And you know what happens when you're like, bam, I'm wealthy? It grows. And it grows. And it grows. And it grows. And then you're like, wow, where did all this money come from? I had no idea. I never in my wildest dreams expected to ever have this much money. Because now you've got more than you imagined, more than what you thought it took for you to feel wealthy. Because once you feel it, and once you're vibing it, it starts flowing to you. So if you're waiting until you're a millionaire to feel wealthy, you might go a long time without feeling wealthy. But if you can feel wealthy with $20 extra on the next payday, or $100 in the bank, that's growing. Not that you're going to run to every day, but $100 that's sitting in the bank and growing. You're going to start vibing wealth, and wealth is going to be attracted to you. Money will start flowing to you. So, think about your definition of wealth. Have a great day, because you can do this. There's greatness inside of you. I know you've got this. You can do this. You just have to believe it, clear some old junk, and we can move on. And this is the kind of thing, in case you didn't know, this is exactly what I do with my coaching clients, only much more in depth. And I work with them to discover their definition of wealth. I don't get all into your finances. That's not my place. I don't get all into your finances, but I do talk to you about what it is. And I let you work on it on your own. You don't have to give me numbers. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. A lot of people don't, and that's fine. We work with like what I just said, $50,000, I throw my numbers out. You write your real numbers down. Okay. You don't have to tell me your finances. You can, like I said, you can. I've had clients who did. They told me exactly how much they had in the bank. And that's up to you. That's a personal choice. It's all confidential with me. I don't have time to remember it all. I don't have the brain space to remember what everybody's got. So it's okay. I have enough in there for my money and my mom's money, and that's about it. So we define your wealth. We define what you believe wealth is and what it actually means to you instead of that definition that other people have. Maybe it's your parents. Many of us are living with our parents' definitions of wealth, and it's not really ours anymore. Maybe it was growing up, but it's not now. So we want to define it for you. We'll look at where you're tolerating not having anything, tolerating lack, and look at where you actually are wealthy, because you're going to discover that there are areas where you have wealth. You didn't even realize it. You're ignoring it. You're also ignoring your lack. We ignore a lot because we get into this comfort level of the lack, and that's what we see more than we see the wealth. So we see the lack, and we may sit there in a room going, I don't feel good about this, and I just don't have anything to wear, even though our closet is literally stuffed with clothing. Sound familiar? It should, because I think it's every single one of us. So that's what we do in coaching with me. That's how we kind of get started, and we talk about all kinds of other stuff, and we clear out all that junk, all that stuff where you're saying that's not, I'll never have enough. The only way I can be wealthy is to have $1 million, but I don't trust banks, and I don't trust this, and I don't trust that, and if I have money, somebody's going to steal it. We're going to clear all that stuff away. And once we clear all that stuff away, now we've got some good soil, right? Because at that point, with all that junk in it, think about it as you're gardening, and all that stuff in it is these big boulders and these icky, parts of, grass and things where you can't plant a flower because you got other stuff growing in there, and or ant beds even, and you got to pull all those out and clear all that stuff away and get rid of all the weeds and, pull them up, and you have to kind of turn the soil over and till it. And that's what we're doing with the brain. We get all that stuff out, fluff it all up, get some good potting soil in there, and then we start putting in the affirmations. Because when you're putting in the affirmations on top of that stuff, they're not getting in there. But once we take all that junk out and start putting the affirmations in, they sink in further. And they work so much better when we do that. And then we feel better. Money feels better coming to us. Isn't that a joy? So I love money. Money loves me. I deserve prosperity. And so do you. So if you haven't talked to me yet about coaching, you really should. You can have a 20-minute call with me. Actually, it's closer to a 30-minute call. About a 30-minute call. And I'm going to ask you some questions about your goals. If you haven't had this call, it's free. Have this call with me. I'm going to ask you some questions about your goals. Then I'm going to let you ask me some questions. And we'll decide if we, there's no pressure. I may tell you that, you don't need coaching. You just need a little bit of this. I'll be honest with you. Or tell you that, you've got so many problems, I can't help you with that. Before you ever work with me, you need to go do this. Or I might just send you a thing saying, what? I think if you do this one little exercise, you'll be in a better place. So why don't you try this first? I'm going to be honest with you. And if I think working together for 3 months, 6 weeks, a month, is going to help you, I'll tell you that too. But again, I'll invite you to it. And if you choose to say no to the invitation, that's okay too. No hard feelings. So if you want to have that free 20-minute, 30-minute, like I say, I call it 20 minutes, but it's really 30. If you want to have that free session, comment comment below. I'll get it out. Comment below, and I'll send you the link to schedule one. I've got about 3 spots open for next week. That's what I open up every week, is about 3 spots. So come on and let's have a chat. Talk to you soon, and have a great week. And don't forget, you are a wealthy person. Tell yourself that. It's safe, right, good, and easy for you to be wealthy. Bye.